Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, so our first full week of March, and last week we saw a move as high as 89.75, not quite 27.90, just short of the February monthly pivot. We saw a pullback and then a move up on Friday to test the 26.95 monthly pivot for March, as well as the daily mid-band. So you can see now that the daily mid-band here, the green line, which is just your 20-day simple moving average, and then you slap a couple of two standard deviation Bollinger Bands on either side of it, you can see that that is trying to go resistance. So the combination of the daily mid-band and the monthly pivot going resistance, for me, gives the bears a slight advantage heading into the week. You have a new weekly pivot up at 27.09. So you've got this 26.93 to 27.09 area that we're going to fight over with the, and I expect that area to be tested early in the week. Unless the bears can really show us something, can really turn it around and start making significant lower lows below last week's low at 26.47. So you can see here on the hourly chart, here's your new weekly pivot, here's the monthly pivot. You can see how that got tested into the close. This was an interesting day on Friday. I mean, if you break it all down, if you come in, 8 hours after it traded, you're like, oh, okay, morning dip buy, and they took it up. This was very difficult to trade and very difficult to hold. We mined about 18 handles out of it, and we had a couple of decent size trades, your +6, your +5s, your +4s, but it also, we took a couple of -5s. So the reality is, when the tape gets whippy and volatile, it's going to bite your hand sometimes. When it does that, you've got to keep your head, keep plugging, and keep concentrating on key areas that we're going to work. So it ended up being a very nice day on the back of a very nice week, and the monthly goals already met, and it's March the 5th. But we come into every day with the same focus, which is try to make our 4 handles a day, and the rest kind of takes care of itself. So as I head into today, I've got a 26.47 weekly low. I got a potential higher low. I've got a monthly pivot that wants to matter. We have a lower high here versus where we ended up on Friday. So off of the open, I want to see if this 95 area can be challenged. And don't forget, you've got the daily mid-band sliding in just underneath, right around 93. So 93 to 95 is the first area that I'm really focused on. Weekly pivot typically gets interacted with. I would expect it to get interacted with, if not today, then by tomorrow. You can see, though, later in the week, when they broke weekly pivot hard on the 28th, they never got it back. So how price reacts to the weekly pivot, if seen, is going to be critical. And as long as that 26.93 to 27.09, 27.10 area holds up for the bears, they can continue to try to progress into lower lows. If it gets converted, then the onus is going to be on the bulls to challenge the areas from last week up around 27.90. I mean, we've given 150 handles, 140 handles back pretty quickly. And that's the way heavier markets go. You get sustained rallies. Those rallies are sold. Is this something on the daily chart that's going to result in ultimately in a lower low? It's way too early to tell. And there's way too much of a bid in this area for me to say, it's really looking heavy and we're going to head back down here. I don't think so. But we'll see. Then what we may end up with is you got lower highs, you have higher lows, and you end up in some protracted triangle type situation. But you know what? 100-handle triangles on daily charts are awesome trading. So from a trading perspective, bring it on. I mean, there's been some great trading in here. There was some great trading here. The volatility really isn't going anywhere. And based upon the almost 30 handle range we put in since 6 p.m. Sunday night, it looks like we've got another decent week of volatility ahead for us. All right. So everybody have a great day. I'll be out with some stuff on Twitter, Instagram later. Trade them well, and I'll talk to you then. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.